Good morning, Kentucky. Well, good afternoon, Kentucky. It's another hot one here. We finally got rain on Friday after about another 2-week drought. Uh, Everything's hanging on. We're hanging on. I think there are going to be a whole lot of Kentuckians happy when it finally cools down and gets in the 80s and 70s. So it's been a hot one here. Um, we welcome you back to our oasis. This is our happy place, me and my wife Terry, and we still work in our garden every day, and we're still harvesting food. And other people I talked to, they got frustrated, mowed theirs over, ripped everything out. They're not getting anything, and it's just plain old dirt patch. So we got to get that mindset out of your mind and start thinking about you can do this round or year round, and at least um, till the snow falls, and then be ready in the spring when our last frost date. But there are vegetables that winter over in Kentucky, so we yeah, we're still our garden's doing okay. Our okra, if you can see it behind me, is just absolutely monstrous, and it's pouring out the okras. Uh, but we today we're going to talk about tools, some basic tools and some not so basic tools. Uh, Trying to make your gardening life easier. Trying to take the, oh, I gotta go rototill, or I gotta go weed, or I gotta, or it's out of control, or the bugs, ate everything, and resilience. I mean, we got to be tough. We got to be tougher than the bugs, tougher than the weather, and um, so our main tool, we do the no dig method, which I'm going to get you on YouTube besides my video and watch some no dig people. It says it's just what it sounds. You don't dig it. You don't rototill it. You don't do uh, anything to the soil, but put compost on it once a year, just an inch. We don't put pesticides, herbicides. We don't put fertilizer. Rarely organic fertilizer. Only when something's looking like it's really needing something to start to turn yellow. But other than that, compost naturally um, grows your plants, and it knows when you have it composted, that plant is going to do better than any fertilizer. It's going to blow it up and be tasteless. So, I mean, the flavor, everything comes out of the ground that it's coming from. So our main tool is compost, and you see my compost bins over there, and we throw everything in it, um, paper and cardboard, and any kind of paper that's not shiny, newspapers, all of our garden scraps, all the stuff that comes out of the garden that's green or brown, comes out, goes in the compost. Leaves, pine needles, um, you get a watermelon, eat the inside, throw the outside into the compost. It's fantastic. And I got some pictures of my compost coming out of here. It looks really good. And I finally emptied my small little rolling compost, and I got a picture of that too. That it was amazing. It's our first run at that. I got it for Christmas. So, in your gardening, when your wife buys you a composter for a Christmas present. So, um, and it's full again, and we're waiting for it to break down. But that sun on it, boy, heats it up quick, and you just roll it every day. Easy. The whole thing we're trying to do here is make gardening easier. Um, so compost is our number one. We have big tools, uh, like our greenhouse. It's not necessary, but we love it. I mean, you can experiment. You can, we start everything in this garden from seed. So even our crazy squash and all that. But, you start everything in a greenhouse. Um, it's a lot of fun. For the money you pay, $600 or whatever it was, it is well worth the money. Um, we use a lot of cattle fence. We have our big one with our beans. I don't know if I'm standing in front of it. Our let's see, beans. Rattlesnake beans, scarlet runner beans. I've done fantastic this year. And if you don't have to bend down for hours picking green beans and trying to find them underneath them bushes, the easy way is that way. This one had some on it, but we've already got fall. Oh, isn't that awful? We have already got our sugar snap peas. That's it. That's our fall crop. So we got sugar snap peas going up that one, and there's some over there. And sugar snap peas are good, and it's a fall crop, so they should be going. They're about a foot, 2 foot tall. They should be going now and have plenty of time. They take cold, they take a frost, but not, they don't winter over anything. But you can get some great peas. But it's a cold loving plant. Just like we have cabbage behind me, we have kohlrabi over there that are fall loving. We have lettuce over there, and we're just putting some onions in this afternoon to see if we can winter them through. Leeks is another one that winters through. Beets, turnips, all them. It's cool weather crop. And some, I mean, if you get an onion, like our walking onions that I showed you in the first video or whatever, them things, they just die back, and in the spring they come right back up and start making onions again. So yeah, we just can't give up on a garden just because the weeds take it over, or we just get tired. So a few of the basic tools we use is I don't know if you can see, naturally you use a rake, but not a whole lot. You're just kind of flatten out your soil after you put your compost on, and you rake it around. All right. Got a pitchfork. This one's had its day. This was another Christmas present. I bought my wife a shovel, and she bought me a pitchfork. So yeah, it's about had it, but I use it for only dig potatoes. The only time we dig and no dig. And shoveling my compost from one bin to the other. It needs to be mixed up. So that's the only reason we use a fork. A shovel, which if you ever see a shovel like this, it's got that greatest shovel ever. Easy. You can dig anything. The only thing you're digging is digging a tree, or putting a tree in, or a bush, or a blueberry, or whatever. But never shovel your garden. This one I'm going to show you how to do later. This is called a stirrup hoe, and these are huge in the UK. Everybody has one. Everybody uses one. And if you don't want to bend down and do weeds, this is the tool. But we'll go over that a little later. Newer things. Well, the trowel. Everybody has a trowel or two and loses a trowel or two through the season. But get a good one. Get a good stainless steel. I mean, you can pay a lot of money for a trowel, but if it's going to last your whole lifetime, it's worth it. Pruners. We go through pruners a lot, so we just get cheap ones. But they're still Fiskars. They're good, but they're not real expensive. But be the same way. We lose them. I could be going through the compost and find a pair of these in there. Somehow they get in the pile, and somehow they get in the compost. A weed popper, if you can see that. Just a little glorified screwdriver, I guess. But you know, if you have an oasis like ours that have gardens all the way around the house, one of these babies can make short time of popping up dandelions. This is a wicked tool. We use it not necessarily in the garden unless we're going to prune trees or whatever. But let me warn you about this. They are so sharp. I used a pair today at a lady's house, friend's house, and hers was brand new. And I'll tell you, you can cut your finger off real easy with them. I mean, they're just so sharp, but man, they cut through a tree like nothing. This is a gardener's knife. My sister gave it to me, and it's a handy tool. Not like a pocket knife. It's sort of like a pocket knife, but you know, you go up and you see a dead branch, and mine's not that sharp, so I just take my thumb, snip. But a gardener's knife, it's handy. We use grow bags. You've seen me a couple videos. I got my grow bag. These are handy little things. They're new. I mean, a new thing. And fill it with dirt. Put compost in it, or put all compost in it. Plant your plant. If you're going to plant a plant that you think is going to make it through the winter, or you want to keep going, you know, a green pepper is a perennial, so it can go on forever if you bring it in. Now, I'll show you pictures later of all my plants that I take in, because everything up on that deck, hibiscuses and mandevillas and all that stuff, costs money. And you go to Lowe's and you buy brand new ones every year, and put your things in a grow bag. You can grow, you know, lettuce for the winter. You can grow herbs. You can have a whole herb garden in this little grow bag, and you can get them on Amazon. I'm not affiliated with Amazon, but they do have the best prices on grow bags. You can get like 27 for, I don't know, 20 bucks or whatever it was. Really great deal. And I've been giving them away just to people that don't know anything about grow bags, and they're so excited. If you're gonna push the boundaries of your garden, you got to buy a frost cloth, or more than one. This one's a little tattered, but you'd be surprised if you're getting close to frost. If you've seen my other video where my Boy Scout one, where we covered everything in the garden because it had already, the frost date was gone, and then it frosted. So these will not only keep bugs off, which we do that too. We use them for, you know, the brassicas, and you know, we have our little shelters, and we, you know, try to keep them out. They still get in there, but you know, you can get some, you know, you get some metal hoops. You can buy hoops like that, or I just took high tensile wire, cut it, you stick it in the ground, put the frost cloth on it, put it down with a couple of rocks, and you'd be surprised how many things make it through the winter with just a simple frost cloth. And you can buy them anywhere. I mean, sometimes you can get them at the big stores, Lowe's and Menards and all that. I think that's where we got our first one. But yeah, it's well worth the money. That morning when you wake up and you go, I already put my tomatoes up or out, and then here it comes. So you're scrambling around. You can't put plastic on them, and you can't put, you know, anything heavy. So these things work fantastic. You can get your bed sheets out there and cover them all up, which we've done that too. So, but we can. I'm gonna take a second, and we're going to set up. I'm going to show you how to use this beauty here, and we'll go from there. Later. Bob's back. pretty bright out here, so hopefully this works, but I want to show you how this thing works. It's like a stirrup, like a horse, but it's real sharp on both edges. So when you go to your garden and you have weeds, you just slide it underneath the surface. Now that's the strawberry it's going to go, but it's hitting popcorn is the way it's hitting. And there's your pile of weeds. It makes easy work of weeds, and especially if you do no dig, there's just not a whole lot of weeds, so you just kind of go through and, you know, just drag the hoe through, and it came right off, and makes it so much easier. While I'm down here, I got a couple more things that you really need to do if you want to get serious. I know you're watching YouTube now. If you're watching my video, thank you for that. You know, not trying to make money. I'm just trying to help people get started and learn with the rest of us. So, you know, we're trying to spread the knowledge. And but if you're not watching more gardening shows or gardening videos on YouTube, you should be. You know, we did gardens for years and just did it the way mom and dad did it, or did it the way the neighbor told us how to do it. We started watching YouTube, and Charles Dowding, he's the no-dig king. He's just an older gentleman, just sweet as heck, and he has a market garden in the UK, and he's changed the whole gardening. You know, you got to rotate your crops, and you can't multi-sow beets, and you know, all that. He does it all, and he experiments with compost. He's got more compost bins than anybody I've ever seen, and I wish I could take a visit out to his place. It's called Home Acres. Absolutely beautiful. In Wales, Hugh Richards is out there. He's a young man, has been doing gardening videos since he was 13 years old, and he's 25. And he just knows it all. And to watch him and watch, you know, the things he does, and then we kind of copy and try to go our way. But there's just so many. James Prigioni from New Jersey. Now he's taking it totally different. He's in right downtown residential property, and he's turning into a food forest is what he calls it. And that young man plants more things in wood chips, and yeah, I mean, it's ridiculous the harvests he has. He's really kind of upsets you a little bit that he does so good. I mean, cabbages are this big, and but you know, there's guys out of San Diego, Epic Gardening, you know, all over the country, and one here in Kentucky. He's a no-till guy, and very smart. These guys are not just YouTube kids. These are very smart people that just caught on and said, you know, I can teach people how to do this on YouTube, and they make money, I'm sure. But go through the gardening section, you know. And if you see any of mine, you can always send them. But I'm pretty simple compared to some of theirs. But there's just so much good information out there. And if you want to plant garlic, or you want to plant beets, or you want to plant anything, there is somebody out there, and it's getting hot here. They can show you the way to do it, and intelligently and easily. And so another thing, people ask questions all the time. You know, how far do I plant my beets, and what distance between my tomatoes and all that. Ask Google, ask Siri. You know, it's amazing. You can ask any question and you believe it. But when you ask them, well, how far should I put my squash away? Ask her. I mean, she's not like some lady making up answers. There's a lot of knowledge and a lot of people in there that give them answers. And what can I grow next to cabbage? And she'll tell you. Cabbage and onions don't well, I don't know if that's the one or not, but she'll tell you which ones are good companion plants and which are not. And it's just such a resource that people are wasting. We ask it every other stupid question. Why don't you ask them intelligent questions about gardening, and they'll give you some intelligent answers. Another one is I have an app. It's the only app I pay for. It's called Picture This. I could show it to you, but my phone's recording this. So it's an app called Picture This. It's got a zillion plants in a library somewhere in there that if you go up and you take a picture of a plant, it'll come back within usually 3 to 5 seconds and tell you what the plant is, whether it looks healthy or not. If it is unhealthy, it'll tell you conditions and what could be wrong. And it'll tell you if it's a weed. I mean, I use it if I don't use it every 3 days. And we went to Hawaii, went to Kauai, and there's a lot of plants that I don't have any idea what they were. Took this thing over there, picture this, boom, it's a whatever. And we use it in Texas, we use it in Florida. I mean, it's just a phenomenal, and I know there's other ones. I'm not saying Picture This is the best, but it's the one somebody told me about and I've used, and I've had a couple, my son's got it now and my neighbor's got it now. And when you're walking through a beautiful garden of somebody else's, some of them don't know what it is. Well, what is that? Well, take a picture of it. It's such a great tool. And especially when you're weeding a garden, well, is this a weed or is this something I got growing in my wildflowers? If it's a weed, it's gone. So, yeah, use what's out there. YouTube. I mean, if you're trying to install a ceiling fan, or you're trying to fix your washer or your dryer, you look on YouTube and you trust everything they say. Look on the gardening people. They're very trustworthy and just phenomenal teachers. So I'm gonna take a break here because it's getting sweaty here. So we'll come back. I'm gonna do a quick shot through the yard and show you what we still got going, and then we'll say later. This is Bob. I'm back, and this is a new addition to our happy place. My wife wanted a new set of steps to come off the deck on this way, so there it is. Totally free. The rocks came from the highway. The stumps came from, looks like where the county dumps them. I recycle them, bring them and bury them. So it's kind of plain right now, but it'll be beautiful in the spring when we plant it. You can see our bananas are still doing okay. If just a suggestion, if you want a pollinator, these are called, I don't know how bright this is, these are called garlic chives, and they are, they're a nuisance, but they bring in 1,000,000 pollinators. I mean, just as soon as they open up, I don't know if you can see them, but they got bees all over them dudes. And this time of the year, it's very important because as gardens start to dwindle, there's just nothing for them to eat. So, and our butterflies seem to be picking up. Hopefully you can see a few. this is the most we've seen, and saw quite a few monarchs this week. I'm hoping that they're on their migration home. There is a hummingbird moth, if I can get up. Where did he go? Oh, there's a butterfly. And that wild tomato is still giving us 50 million cherry tomatoes. So we're just going to make a quick walkthrough. This garden is redone, and everything's stripped out of it. And now, if you look close, is a cover crop. Buckwheat. I don't know if you can see it. The sun is so bright. But they're coming up. They're about an inch tall. Buckwheat will fill this up, and then you just chop it down and leave it go. And all working on that soil, getting the soil. Zinnias are insane, but they've done so well. These are the peppers here. I haven't been bragging on them because they haven't done very well, but these are the ones I took in for the winter and wintered through. Tomatoes still up there. Those you got to reach. And cucumbers are still going. They're vertical, but easy to find a bug on. A couple little ones there. You can see our corn is, I got a fence around it, so good luck so far. But I'm not speaking too loudly because the raccoons are probably listening to me going, so we did try one ear and it seemed to work okay. So we're going to give it another week or two before we harvest them. These are lima beans, we think, because they got a big old bean on them. And you get the things where you get them in seed, we save seeds, and then you don't know exactly what you got. This is our runner bean like we have over here. And this is the one that didn't get the Roundup. And it looks a lot healthier. Our peppers are doing wonderful. We have got more green peppers this year than ever. Got our new stand of onions coming up over here. This is the one I was telling you. This is an okra. And if you can see, it's as tall as I am. I think you can tell that. But a lot of people love their okra. It's fried okay, but Swiss chard. I think it's one of the prettiest plants you can put in your garden. Some flowers are pretty well finished, but then birds eat them before they even get off the thing. And we have a new critter in our midst. If you can see, my grapevine is a lot smaller that I bragged on last video. Oh yeah, my old one died, and my old one came back, and my new one died. Somebody ate it. And if you look at our sweet potatoes, they're a lot shorter. So we think we have deer now. And if you look across the way, I forgot to show you in front of the red chair, our strawberries are only like 2 inches high. So they've already pruned my strawberries for me, and now they're pruning the sweet potatoes that we're just getting about ready to harvest now. More Swiss chard, that's a beauty. Celery, this is the scarlet runner bean. You can still see the bees. And the hummingbirds love this thing. So if you want something for hummingbirds, it doesn't have to be in a garden. It can be anywhere, growing up a pole or growing up one of these little teepee things, or you're your mailbox or whatever. Hummingbirds just love it, and you get beans off of it too. So, and yeah, here's some of our sugar snap peas working their way up the trellis, and we're finally out of the berry season. There's still a few. Finally out of the berry season, and butterflies are everywhere. And this is our new batch of potatoes that we planted and replanted. Now they're blooming already. So, um, oh, let's see. Pretty well. We still got yellow squash there. Vine borer ate our two good ones we had, and we're doing so good. Um, we have an asparagus growing out of our garden. I don't know how it got there. These are mostly herbs and basil and nasturtiums or basil. So we're still harvesting and we're still taking care of our gardens. And by the time it does finally get cold, our gardens are tip-top shape. If they're not growing something for the winter, they're going to be ready for spring. So think about that. Yeah, it's a lifelong commitment. You know, it's a year-long commitment. And but if it's your passion, like it is ours, then it makes it all worth it. So, all right, I'll say goodbye now, and thank you for watching, and hopefully uh, you learned something. And I think, darn the monarchs, so here they come. Watch the butterflies all day. Alrighty, so have a good fall. Later.